Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media, and today is a Wednesday. As you know, always Wednesday we usually host one of our leaders who usually have made impact in our country. And may I give this opportunity to my brother to introduce himself to the viewers, those who are going to watch now and those who will be watching after the show. Thank you so much, Senior Counsel.
Thank you very much, Brother Benson. I'm glad to be hosted on your show. I'm Willis Otieno, Piki Piki Ponki, Pakamielo Disco, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and an avid citizen of this country who believes that this country will only grow when we pursue leadership that has values, that believes in providing alternatives and platforms that will enhance the quality of life that the people of Kenya are living. Thank you very much for this opportunity and for sharing with the online platform, with your viewers, and with our friends who are joining us and those who will watch us later.
Okay, thank you very much, Senior Counsel. Now, right now in our country, we are in a place whereby, like, those of us who do not understand the legal, how the legal framework works, we would like to engage you on about the executive, of how the executive has been bringing maybe war onto the judiciary. What can you say about that?
The first step is that in our constitution, the constitution envisaged the judiciary to be independent.
Mhm.
Now, we must first appreciate that when the constitution talks about independent judiciary, you ask yourself, independent of what or from who? It means that the constitution and the people of Kenya realized that there are certain actors within the state who may wish to control the judiciary. And the primary influencer or actor who may desire to control the judiciary is the executive. So the first independence of the judiciary is independence from the executive before you go to other players, different spheres. So it must be independence from the executive. Now, when the president summons the chief justice to attend a meeting, to a dialogue forum in status, then they are going against that spirit of an independent judiciary. The constitution recognized that in as much as the judiciary is an organ of government and independent, it provided for what we call dialogue platforms, where the judiciary can meet with the executive and other players in the justice sector to discuss cross-cutting issues that may affect the administration of justice. And we did set up what is called the National Council for Administration of Justice, NCAJ. It's a dialogue platform that brings together, it's chaired by the Chief Justice, brings together the Attorney General, the DPP, the ESCC, the Law Society of Kenya, civil society players who work in the justice sector, in the IG, the DCI, all actors within the justice system are brought together in this LCJ. So if there be any issue that an actor has with the judiciary, you take it to the justice platform, I mean the dialogue platform being the NCJ, and it is discussed and a resolution is made. Now, if you look at what's transpired in this particular instance, Kenya Kwanza, led by Ruto and Gachagua, started by indicating that the judiciary is corrupt, orders are being given based on corruption. My take of it is this: if the judiciary is corrupt, as they alleged in public,
Mhm.
the Constitution and our laws already provide an avenue for the removal of corrupt judges. They should
Mhm.
have presented their evidence, filed a petition before the Judicial Service Commission. The evidence will be considered, and if need be, the JSC will recommend a tribunal to be constituted against the individual judge or judicial officer who is culpable.
Mhm.
Mike Sonko, who is not as educated as the president is, in his own little way, came up with an information that a judge is corrupt, is not fit to be a judge.
Mhm.
And Mike Sonko's case was taken to JSC. That judge has been removed from office as a judge. But in the case of William Ruto and Gachagua, they go to a public platform, make the allegations they made, then they meet the Chief Justice. And we are not seeing any counter reaction in relation to the allegations of corruption. Now, it begs two questions. One,
Mhm.
if indeed judges had been bribed, It is onerous on William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua to present the evidence to the JSC and the people of Kenya. That's the first step. We must test the documents or the evidence they had that informed those public utterances. Number two, if they do not have any evidence, if they are not able to present this information to JSC, then it leads us to the second point. Then they are guilty of what is called contempt of court, because they publicly disparage the standing and stature of our judiciary, of our court system outside there. That is an act of contempt of court. And what the Chief Justice should be doing is not to have a dialogue forum with a contemnor. In fact, a contemnor should even be denied audience before a court until or unless they purge the act of contempt. If Martha Koome was going to set us, what she ought to have done, in my view, is to go and serve William Ruto with an order or a summon for him to attend to the Supreme Court to respond to an accusation of contempt of court, if no evidence would be presented in support of the allegations that he made. Because when you say judges are corrupt, the dialogue that they had in Setos has not addressed that question.
Yeah.
If indeed it is true that those judges are corrupt, they are still serving in those same courts. They are still meeting with members of the public. They cannot continue serving. The onus is on you to make sure they are removed, following the due process of the law.
But Wakili, especially when you look at the executive, especially the president, he has attorney general with so many legal minds that are assigned to him. Did maybe at some point attorney general advise the executive or the president that the route you're taking of going to public rallies and maybe attacking the judiciary was the right way, or what was happening?
I don't think that kind of advice will have come from the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General and his officers are renowned legal practitioners, and they are people who have that office by itself has a long history of legal practice in this country. I think it's the longest law firm, so to speak, in our private practice, in our practice, those of us who are in litigation. So, and the largest law firm also, so to speak, in the country. The kind of experience and expertise that we have in the AG chambers, I do believe nobody in the AG's offices would give an advice that the president to behave in the manner that he did. So I will not even say it's the AG who advised him to do that. But what we should pay attention to is that he already did it. He already did it. The horse had already bolted. The damage has been done. So the only two routes we need to take going forward, the only two. He provides the evidence of the corrupt judges, file a petition before JSC. That's route one. Route two is he proceeds to be committed for contempt of court if he fails to provide the evidence, to follow route one. We cannot wish away the kind of character assassination that was done to the judiciary by the executive, led by the president and Rigathi Gachagua. If this was you or I making the kind of statements which William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua made, the Supreme Court will have come down on you, guns blazing. Ahmed Nasir, my senior counsel, based on just his tweets, has now been disbarred permanently from accessing the Supreme Court, together with all his associates and partners and anybody working in law firm. They have been barred from accessing the Supreme Court just because of the tweets he made. And there's no difference between his tweets and the public statements that William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua made. They're the same. So why are we seeing double standards? Let them also apply the same yardstick that they applied on Ahmed Nasir, on William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua.
So, because I know the law allows the right to be heard,
Yes.
And if now you are banning the senior counsel, does it mean that his constitutional right has been violated? Or
No, I do believe the manner in which the Supreme Court did it, I don't agree with,
Mhm,
because they didn't conduct contempt proceedings against him.
mhm,
That is where I depart.
mhm,
But also the penalty that was meted, I believe, was not properly done, because the Supreme Court does not have the power to ban someone permanently from practicing before it.
mhm,
Neither does it have the power to penalize an associate or a partner who did no wrong. Because remember, in terms of criminal culpability, it's individual, it's not collegiate.
mhm,
The wrong that is committed by a father cannot be vested on the son.
mhm.
So the wrong committed by Ahmed Nasir should not and cannot be meted on an associate in his law firm. They are two independent legal entities
Mhm,
and should be taken as such. So I don't agree with how they handle Ahmed Nasir. But what I'm saying is, if indeed they felt that there's a basis to sanction Ahmed Nasir, follow the law, cite him for contempt, and penalize him based on the penalty prescribed in law.
Okay.
And if that is the route, apply the same yardstick on William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. Penalize them in similar fashion if they are not able to substantiate the kind of allegations they are making in relation to to the judiciary and judicial officers who handle their cases. Because otherwise, look at, for example, Justice Maina,
Mm,
a poor judge whose only mistake is to be the head of the economic crimes unit of the High Court.
mhm.
Rigathi Gachagua said she was paid money to decide the way she did, which is, and no evidence is provided. Now he says he will not petition for removal. What happens to her reputation?
Their reputation is gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is contempt. What she was doing is to disparage the standing of the court, and it needs to be penalized for the act of contempt. I believe that the two gentlemen at this point belong to the to jail for
Mhm.
contempt of court, and that is where they need to be taken. What they did to the judiciary cannot be cleansed through a dialogue. It can only be cleansed through contempt of court proceedings, where they are found culpable and penalized for what they did.
Okay, Wakili, you know very well that the same judges or the same judiciary that the president is bashing so much like it is the same judiciary that confirmed his election, when the petition was there. What has really changed within this short period of time between the time the case, the ruling was made to the time now he feels like the judicial officers are corrupt?
Of course, one thing that you can say is only one thing. Either they were corrupt then or they have never been corrupt.
Mm,
If they were corrupt, as he claims, they could have started being corrupt today. Then it means they must
mm,
have been corrupt even then.
mhm,
So whatever orders they gave in his favor were obtained through corruption, if we are to believe him.
mhm,
But if they were not corrupt then they're not even corrupt now. There are no two ways about it. You
mm,
cannot cherry pick. eh? William Ruto cannot have his cake and eat it.
mm,
You have to choose. Either you hunt with the lions or you run with the hares. Hunt with the hounds or run with the hares, but you can't do both. He's trying to do both. That when it favors him, the courts are okay.
mm,
When the rule of law is upheld and it is to his disadvantage, the courts are corrupt. No, 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 no. There are no two ways about it. It's either these courts are corrupt, and if they're corrupt, then they've been corrupt from 2022. When they decided this case,
mhm.
they were corrupt. If they are not corrupt, then they've not been corrupt even when they decided this case in 2022. They were not corrupted. So he must choose. But this cherry picking,
Mhm.
that when the public, the people of Kenya, question certain executive decisions and the courts uphold the law as expected of them, then you start accusing them of corruption without providing any scintilla of evidence. That is something that we cannot allow. That is something that we must call out and we must point it out to Kenya Kwanza that it is in the interest of this nation that everybody respects the courts and the rule of law. Even when we don't agree with the decisions of the courts,
Mhm.
we have an appellate process to pursue. But even if those courts were to become rogue, then we can deal with those courts in the manner provided in the law. Otherwise, if you were to take the Gashago approach, that every time a court decides a matter against you, the recourse is to ask for the judge to be removed from office, there will be no judge left in this country. Because for every case filed in court, there's a winner and a loser,
And a loser,
so to
yes.
speak. Yeah, there will be no judge. There will be nobody left to hear any case. So that is why it is important that we protect the independence of the judiciary and we uphold that independence. We cannot turn judicial discourse to a conversation of public platforms unless you have evidence that will merit the removal of a particular judge. And you cannot also attack the judiciary as an institution. Attack individual judges.
Yes.
Because cases are not heard by all judges at the same time. There's a judge who is based in Garissa, another one is based in Kisumu, some are in Nairobi. They're all over the country. Each of them dealing with individual files. So you cannot say that all judges are corrupt because maybe you think you bribed a judge in Nairobi. If you bribe the Supreme Court, what does that go to do with the High Court judge in Garissa? He was not part of those proceedings. So why is he now being condemned for one thing that he did not do? So we must also protect the institution and deal with individuals who may have been corrupted. That is where I depart with Kenya Kwanza.
Okay, thank you, Wakili. When you look at, I know you've been practicing for quite some times, and you take an overview, maybe outside the country or everywhere. Have you seen a scenario whereby the CJ is meeting with executive to find modalities of how maybe to fight corruption the way he's saying, yet we have the agencies that are fighting corruption? And what precedent does the CJ set for the country?
She's behaving like a chief justice in the ilk of the country of Bokasa's country. Those Idi Amin chief justices whose duty was to chair the presidents of the republic, those failed states where the chief justice is part of the cheerleaders of the executive, but not a chief justice of a country that upholds the rule of law and independence of the judiciary. Otherwise, if she was to meet with the president, they can meet in official functions where she's invited as the head of an independent organ of government. And if there's any administrative issue to be discussed, they can be done at the NCAJ. But when you see the Chief Justice kowtowing to the president in the manner in which Martha Koome has done, then she's bringing into disrepute the standing and the stature of that office. She ought not to do that. We must respect the offices which we hold, those who are enjoying or holding public office. They must conduct themselves in a manner that is concurrent with the stature of that office. So I saw their communique. They said they'll come up with a report. Report to who? The executive, the legislature, the judiciary, coming up with a report. Reporting to who? Are they reporting to each other or to the people of Kenya? Then what happens to EFCC? What happens to DCI, police? It's not like we don't have these things. They are calling and telling us now they have renewed the war against corruption. What happened to the old one? That every time we keep saying we are renewing the war against corruption. So what happened to the old one? Are you telling me that we've been operating in a system where corruption has been the order of the day? The rule of law doesn't apply. And now we have to reactivate a new process, independent of the constitution, that brings together those three persons to lead an onslaught. No. They have no place in the constitution. We have a legal system that provides an avenue through which corruption is to be fought. Then they can only provide evidence to those institutions if they think there's corruption anywhere. So, in my view, we are being taken, we are on what is called a rocking chair. That conversation will lead to nothing, to lead nowhere. Nothing will be done to any judge. It will get to nothing. No judge will be removed because of that dialogue, number one. Number two, there is no renewed fight against corruption in the judiciary. That meeting was just to save face.
But like from the look
And
of
then
things,
hopefully, Hopefully, William Ruto hopes to get out of the 35 judges who've been advertised, they promised to advertise. He hopes he will now get his associates to become judges. Yeah, there's nothing there about the rule of law and corruption. He hopes
But
he's stimulating the JSC and the Chief Justice to allow him to appoint his judges.
and to me, I feel like he feels like as the executive, he has powers over all the three arms of government.
He can think so for all he cares, but I mean, at the end of the day, our constitution is supreme to everybody, and it defines the parameters within which organ of government is supposed to operate. Of course, Parliament, he has whitewashed Parliament. Parliament is now the executive's lapdog, asking how much it should lick the master's feet. So don't expect anything from this 13th Parliament, the worst parliament in the history of mankind. It's the worst parliament in the history of parliamentary democracy in the whole world. It's the 13th Parliament, and 13 in the United States where you are is a cursed number as you know it. If you expect anything different from this one, I'm sorry. It is the 13th Parliament. That is why it's the most hated parliament in the history of Kenya. It will not deliver to the people of Kenya. Don't expect anything out of it. So that has become now the lapdog of William Ruto. Let them continue licking his feet. And Kenyans should not put their hope in that parliament. In fact, with parliament, we just look for D-Day, their day with destiny.
So where are we headed then as a country if we do not have a legislative arm of government that is not doing its job?
No. You see, our constitution is a very revolutionary constitution. It provides that we can have sovereignty vest in the people of Kenya. And it can be exercised either in one of two ways, directly or through democratically elected representatives. So there are two ways. And the first way is directly. Second way is democratically elected representative. If the democratically elected representatives, which is parliament, has become a lapdog of the executive and is not representing the views of the people of Kenya, nothing stops the people of Kenya from doing it directly. And that's why I say, let them wait for their day with destiny. If they continue on this trajectory they're going, they will meet the wrath of the people of Kenya. That is rest assured.
Yeah, Wakili Senior, you were part of the legal minds that participated in 2022 general election and 2022 petition when the court case was going on. When the ruling came, there are some literature that the CJ used. As somebody who has been practicing in the legal, were those literature the legal literature, or they were informed by other decisions?
You know, interestingly, when you look at the final judgment of that court, they removed all that language that they used when they read the preliminary ruling. That language is not in the final judgment. Of course, even then they realized they went on an overreach. That kind of language, temperate, inconsiderate, harsh, and what you can call vain language, has no place or standing in legal practice in Kenya, or the Commonwealth, so to speak. There is no part of the Commonwealth, even when a judge disagrees with you. No, there's a common saying that we say, a lawyer is the kind of a person who can tell you go to hell in a language that you look forward to the trip. Because we are a profession that is meant to bring out the civil side of the society. But when the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, adopts such vain language, it tells you that that court had gone beneath and below its own call and creed as a Supreme Court. Because it's not the first judgment this Supreme Court has written. We've had several judgments written by this Supreme Court. And look at their history. The language has always been very good. Even when they dismiss a petition, it's not the first petition they have dismissed. They've dismissed many others before. They've dismissed many cases. But every time our Supreme Court has dismissed a case, the language has been very temperate, very modest, very polite, legal language. But this one, they come up with language that is even strange to legal practice. They shocked everyone. Even themselves, they were shocked. That is why you look at the final judgment, that language is missing. Where did it go?
So can somebody take that language and petition the CJ over that, or the law
Of
does not
course,
allow them?
anybody can challenge them for incompetence.
Mm,
Yeah. Does that
mm,
language meet the test of Chapter 6 of our Constitution?
mm,
Gross violation of the Constitution, yes, can be a basis for someone to challenge them in the JSC. Look at their conduct. Anybody can do that. But I believe the people of Kenya have left them to live with their consequences. You know, everybody's living with their consequences.
yeah.
You know, when you say when something happens, each
Uh-huh.
of us must prepare to live with our consequences.
Mhm.
So Kenyans are living with their consequences,
Yeah.
high cost of living, high
Mhm.
taxation. The judiciary is living with its consequences, judicial capture, intimidation, threats, malignment, and public being put in public odium. Those are the consequences of the action. So everybody must deal with their consequences. Let them deal
Mhm.
with their consequences. The people of Kenya will also deal with their
Yeah,
consequences.
consequences. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, you talked about taxation, and the main one that actually is usually about people have conversation about is about the house levy. And the house levy, to me, there are some questions that and I don't get answers. One of them is we there's a money that is deducted as a tax, yeah,
Mm.
that's going towards the house levy that is there. Then, secondly, recently I saw when the president was in Nakuru, um, there were houses that were being sold, and they were sold at market value. I think the two-bedroom was going for 3.1. The two was going for 3.1. The two-bedroom was going for 4 point something. So my question to you is, if to say that I want to buy this house upfront, I pay the 3.1 and I get the two-bedroom, will I still be taxed the levy if I own the house already?
In fact, to begin with,
Yeah.
there's no guarantee that you'll be assigned the house.
Mm-hmm.
The tax is on everybody who qualifies.
Mm-hmm.
And the haste that is being done on the people of Kenya is this.
Mm-hmm.
If government is collecting a tax to build a house, why is it being sold at market rates in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say this tax is just for 1 year to create a seed fund. No,
Mm-hmm.
they want to do it forever, in perpetuity. So they'll be collecting your money in tax, build a house, and sell it to you. I mean, what madness is that? Which economic framework is that? It beats basic economics. Then ask yourself, if government is selling you a flat at 3.5 million, Great Wall here in Mlolongo is selling a 3-bedroom flat at 2.8 million, 2.9 million.
Mm-hmm.
Great Wall using their own money,
Mm-hmm.
using their own land. On this other end, they're using your taxpayer money, they're building on public land, and yet they're selling to you above market rate. These are hastes. This is thievery. This is thievery beyond measure. There's nothing you can say about this thievery.
And even title,
Because
how
it
will I
beats,
get my title to
it will be
that?
sectional title, but still, the point
Uh-huh.
is, it is built on public land,
Mm-hmm.
built using taxpayer money, then sold above market rates. So what
Mm-hmm.
are we doing here? Hmm? This whole concept of housing, affordable housing that William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza are doing, it's a failure. It will never work. It will not work.
But they're still collecting
And
money, though.
yes, let him collect, but it will fail. It will fail. I assure you, it will fail. So we are here. Let us meet here at the end of the year. You'll tell me how that things have failed.
Mm-hmm.
If we'll get there, that is. Hmm? It will fail. This is
Mm-hmm.
economic. What has Kenya Kwanza done that has succeeded? Are they the same people who told you G2G was going to change, bring down the price of the dollar to the shilling to the dollar?
And that
That
one
time
was
it was
failed.
120, it was 132. It
Mm-hmm.
will come down to 120 or 115. Nyinyi wenye mko na madola,
Mm-hmm.
I've given you 1 week. Sell your dollars. That was Gachagua speaking. Where are we today? Today the dollar was retailing comfortably at 167.
It's 167.
Yes, today comfortably. And I assure you by August it will be 200 Kenya shillings to the dollar.
Oh, Wakili will be coming back. If you have any question, because we are almost winding up, you can write your question on the comment section. So when Wakili comes back, he might answer those your questions.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. I was just telling our viewers if any of the viewers
Hello?
have question. Yes, I can hear you.
I lost
Hello?
my voice.
You lost your voice? Hello,
I lost your
Wakili?
audio. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well. I can hear you. Hello? That's technology. I can hear you well, Wakili. Hello, Wakili. What is the technology is doing here? Let me try to fix it for. Hello, Wakili.
I cannot hear.
But I can hear you well. Okay, let me see something here, Wakili. You're muted. You are muted. Unmute yourself. Okay. Okay. Oh, let's see what is happening. I'm seeing Wakili. There's a problem with his phone, maybe. Okay. Hello, Wakili. Hello, Wakili. Hello, Wakili. I don't know what is happening because I can hear him. There's a problem. Hello, Wakili. Let's wait. We are still trying to fix. If you have any question, maybe you can put it down there so we can. Hello, Wakili. I don't know what has happened, but there's some. Okay, hopefully, I think Wakili is muted, but let's try to fix it. If you have any question for Wakili, maybe you can write it down. Hello, Wakili.
I seem to have lost your audio.
You cannot get me.
I cannot hear you.
Okay, I don't know where the problem might be, but I can get you well and clear. Let me see. Let me see something here. Hello, Wakili.
Now I can hear you.
Okay, I think you are muted on my end, so that's okay. Yeah, thank you so much. And I was just asking our viewers for them to write some questions for you. And somebody wrote this: the president swore to defend the Constitution and to protect it and to follow it, and seemingly is not doing that. And somebody is asking, what is the symbolic meaning of the sword and carrying of the Constitution?
Now, the first thing is that when the Constitution is given, the Constitution is the basic document that regulates everything in this country. So it is given to an incoming president to remind him that this is what is about our relationship. Then the sword is symbolically to show that use it to protect the Constitution from mutilation. But what we are witnessing is that the holder of the sword is using the sword to mutilate the constitution. That's why I say their day with destiny will come. Because remember, the constitution is just the aspirations of the people of Kenya.
Yeah. Mhm.
If you mutilate it, you are mutilating the aspirations of the people of Kenya. And they'll have a day when they'll have a conversation with that person who has mutilated their constitution. And it's not a comfortable conversation.
Okay, and Wakili, we know maybe I think it's on Friday. Is when the ruling for the house levy issue is coming. It's on Friday, if I'm not wrong. What do we expect from the ruling? Oh, there's a problem. Wakili keeps on. We keep on losing Wakili. He's on mute. If you have any question, just let us know so that Wakili can answer it. Maybe there's a problem with Wakili's. Hello, Wakili, can you hear me? Wakili. Let me see again. On my side, Wakili, you're lost. There's a problem with Wakili's mic. Hello, Wakili. I can't hear you. Technology has okay, Wakili, I think we have a problem on your side with the technology because I've lost you again, Mr. Wakili. Hello, Wakili. Can you please log in again? Just log out and log in again if we can fix it, because problem seems to be coming from your side. This is what is happening. I don't know what is happening on the other end of Wakili. Now unmute yourself, Wakili. Hello.
Yes.
I think we have a problem with the sound, with the audio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well. I'm talking about the ruling that is coming on Friday.
Yes.
Maybe on your own view, what could be what will be the outcome?
No, at this point, I cannot speculate on that. It will be sub judice.
Okay.
And as opposed to Gachagua and William Ruto, I respect the authority of the courts.
Okay.
So I cannot comment on a live matter before the court.
Oh, okay. Thank you
Yes.
so much. And we will be waiting on Friday to see how the ruling will go. And I hope it will go the best way for Kenyans, so that Kenyans would have. Wakili, we have LSK. Campaigns are going on. Are you vying for any post in LSK?
No. I'm only vying for the office of Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya when elections are called.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not vying for LSK positions at this point.
Why? But you've been in the legal fraternity for so long.
No. Let's, in the book of Exodus,
Yeah.
God will tell the people of Israel at some point that break camp and move on. So I've left that field now. I've moved on. I've broken camp and moved on to national leadership. So that is where my ambition is, to serve the people of Kenya as their deputy president.
Okay.
And we'll have a conversation on that.
All right. So let's now just forget about the judiciary, because you're now speaking of the leadership of Kenya. And when you look at our political parties, the ones we have right now, do you see they have aspiration for Kenyans?
You can only discuss each political party based on its individually. There's no common yardstick for all political parties. Like, for example, I belong to Safina political party. There's
Yes.
ODM political parties, there's UDA, there's Ford Kenya, there's ANC. There are many, there are 100 political parties. I can only talk about Safina political party and the difference between us and them.
Yeah.
As
So
we
like.
believe in what is called supply side economics. They believe in the on demand side economics. Supply side is simply about government economic policy should be about creating an enabling environment that allows and enhances productivity. Demand side, on the other hand, believes the government has a lot of money. It should just be distributing the money to people. So Mama Mboga 10 billion, Boda Boda 50 billion. As we will not give any Mama Mboga 10 billion or 550 billion, we will create an environment that Mama Mboga will get new markets for our products in Lagos market, for example. So using her best ability, we've opened new markets for her. She will take up vegetables to Lagos market and earn money. So it's limitless. That is what we call supply side economics. But demand side is about distribution. Supply is about production. So we are ideologically different with most of these political parties on that.
Okay, wakili mano ng'ata gi Nelson Osiemo okil wa more jopiny mor. And like in your political party, Safina, I know we are just about to wind up. How have you made sure, or have you make sure that the youths get the share that they need? Like they are the frontiers in your party, because like some of the political parties, the youths usually don't.
Yeah, in some parties, youth are taken to the youth wing. They create for you a youth wing, and you belong
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
In Safina political party, I may not be 35, but I'm 40. I believe I'm youthful. I am the running mate to the presidential candidate.
Yes.
So the youth are right on the table. And that is what we believe in. We don't believe in creating a youth wing for youths. We believe that young people should be the ones sitting on the table to make decisions. Because Safina Party will infuse the energy of the young and the experience of the old.
Yeah.
To create a formidable political movement that will benefit from each of the strengths of our society to create a better Kenya for the young people and for the old people. We are not discriminating. That is where we are different from the other parties.
Yeah. Okay.
There's nobody that selected a young person like me to be a running mate. And I am holding that position until the next election. I am still the running mate, the deputy president designate under the Safina Party bastion of the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah, somebody is asking, the legislature and executive are in bed. This is a threat to democracy. What can we do as a people to solve this?
Revolution.
Yeah.
If I said sovereignty is Article 1.
Yeah.
Can be exercised directly or through democratically elected representatives. If those two have become rogue, they do it directly. Exercise your sovereignty directly. Do a revolution.
Somebody says Zakayo has become a content creator, diverting our attention from real issues facing Kenyans. He has been on the ground. He's hostile for revolution. Now he's playing games to us. That is a comment from one of our viewers.
I agree to that.
Yeah. So let me see. Another person is also might be asking question up here. Another point say that this comment thing should be banned in Kenya. Ruto, I don't know, ND Kome were just playing piki piki bonki, as he used to say earlier. Okay, those are the questions that I think like our viewers have written. So, Mr. Wakili, so what is the way forward for Kenya in terms of legal matters?
For Kenyans, we need to now be exercise what is called eternal vigilance. And we must put Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza on their toes. We cannot relent, and Kenyans should not relent in this fight. Kenyans have fought against dictators like Moi and won. So this dictatorship that Kenya Kwanza is trying to impose on the people of Kenya, we must reject it and we must defeat it. And I believe we shall defeat it.
Okay.
So the economy is in shambles, but that should not be a reason for Kenyans to give up.
Okay.
It only gets dark when it's about dawn. Dawn is here, and dawn is with Safina Party. Those who will come to Safina Party, Safina is Noah's Ark of the Bible. When things became tough, God asked Noah, build an ark and save my people. Things have become tough in Kenya. God has asked Jimmy Wanjigi and Willis Otieno, build an ark and save my people. That is why we are here. And we built the ark called Safina to rescue his people from the challenges that Kenya Kwanza and Jubilee have brought us into. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Senior Counsel Willis. And I know in the near future, I will also engage you now when it comes now to politics of our country and the leadership. And for our viewers who have been watching us, thank you so much for support. And we are very, very, very much grateful, and continue to support us as we host good leadership from our country. Once again, it was quite an honor to have you on the show, Senior Counsel Willis, and we will engage you in the near future. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much. God bless you.